So we're gonna do another video. It's T. We're gonna do another reaction video to our favorite influencer. You know who? JasonBlaha, the strength and fitness guy, the gym, lifting, recruiting, fear, gear, fitness slave himself, JasonBlaha. So Blaha says high carbs versus high healthy fats. Why people would pick one over the other, I have no idea. I have no clue. Let's find out. Maybe Jason knows something that we don't know.
All right, carbs versus fat in your diet are largely personal preference. Hey everybody, it's JasonBlaha here.
So it's personal preference. Personal preference. So it's not based on health, it's based on preference. Okay, got it.
And I thought I would chat with you guys and gals a little bit about this today. Now, when I make this statement, I want to be clear, I am not advocating a low.
Jason, why are you doing this movement repetitively with these two little things on each side in green in color? Why are you doing that? What's the purpose behind it? Why are you doing that?
Fiber diet. I think everyone should be eating lots of vegetables.
Oh, he thinks that everyone should be eating lots of vegetables. Fiber diet, a high fiber diet, which I'm not a cow. I don't eat vegetables. I'm a carnivore. I'm a carnivore animal. I don't graze on grass like herbivores do all day on grass. That's their natural diet. They don't eat. I don't even think they do. They eat vegetables? No, they eat grass out there. I don't know any animal that eats vegetables. Yeah, vegetables don't exist out in nature, do they? Who eats that? Why do we have to eat it? We're carnivores. Why would carnivores eat vegetables? That's another thing. Vegetables, they're pretty much fibrous like grass, right? They're kind of like grass. Not the same. Somewhat similar. I don't know. So why would we eat them? If the herbivores aren't eating them and the carnivores aren't eating them, why would we eat them, Blaha? And they're toxic, aren't they?
Everyone should be eating lots of fiber. I don't think they should go.
But why do we need lots of fiber? We can't digest it. As a carnivore, we can't digest fiber. We're not herbivores. We don't graze on grass.
Overboard on meat source saturated fat. Okay, so I want to make that statement. So I'm not over here promoting the more extreme.
The more we eat of this fiber, the more we're gonna shit like crazy. Yeah, because we can't digest it. Get big shits.
Ketogenic diet type diets. What I am promoting is looking at what you are trying to do, preference, all of those things when it comes to how you choose to fill in your calories.
Well, I think the goal is we're trying to build muscle and get physically stronger. I think that was the original goal. Most people just want to get better lifting heavy weight for some reason. I don't know. Neural drive. But the original goal was to get bigger and stronger, right? Build muscle. Okay. How does fiber build muscle? It doesn't build anything. You need protein to build muscle, not fiber. And anything that's found in that fiber is deficient. They're deficient in these nutrients, especially amino acids. It does not have a complete amino acid thing. That's why people get scurvy and die, and a bunch of stuff. These vegan diets.
Okay, because at the end of the day,
the fake vegan diets.
If our pursuit is body composition, obviously our protein intakes are going to be high. Okay, not necessarily for.
Yeah, body composition. Our protein meat is going to be high. Yes, our high nutrient diet. Animals. Yes, eating animals. Yes.
Muscle growth, because we all know that.
So why do we need fiber?
Growth, because we all know.
So why do we need fiber then, Blaha? If we need protein to build everything, then what is the purpose of fiber? If we can't digest it and it doesn't build muscle, why do we need it? What's the purpose behind it, Blaha?
That at a certain threshold, more protein doesn't add more muscle. It just doesn't.
More protein doesn't add more muscle? Well, no, because you ran out of nuclei. More nuclei and protein will add more muscle. But if you don't have any nuclei, you just have protein, then you're not going to add any more muscle. Yeah.
Appear to be the case at all. It's just not supported by the data, but we know that in some cases, like if.
Well, it's supported by the data. It tells you that protein synthesis needs to exceed that breakdown to see that mass on that myofibrillar. Yeah. and then it gets masked according to how many nuclei you have, and then it ends. It's called a nuclear domain size limit during hypertrophic process. Yeah.
Dietary carbs are low and fat is higher, there can be benefits to more protein. All right. Yeah, particularly in the pursuit of body composition for calorie burning, is the thermic effect in an exercise society. But in general, protein overfeeding is useful for body
I
composition.
just posted a video now. It talks about how in the 18th century they built the thing called the treadmill. Where did you think it got its name? Treadmill. You're treadmilling. You're treadmilling on this wheel or this thing. And you're milling for these people, these slaves. That's what they did. They ran on these treadmills. They were milling these seeds and stuff for these plantation owners and whoever else that was out there. Yeah. Uh, what do you think they needed? Calories. They need to eat calories to burn so they can run on that treadmill. Yes. Slave food diet. Energy.
Fat loss side. Okay, so obviously we're all
So obviously you're doing the same thing. So they're feeding you carbs and you're exercising. So you've enslaved yourself to a gym. The only difference is yours seems to be free here in the garage. So you're not paying a guy to lift his weights, right? A lot of people pay people to lift their weights, which is really crazy, and run on their treadmill. Treadmilling. They're milling for free. They're paying somebody to mill. Yeah, and burn calories. Okay.
eating high protein diets. So I want to be clear when I discuss this situation. I'm under the assumption you're already eating high protein. I'm under the assumption you're probably hitting that one.
Do I eat high protein? Yeah, I eat I eat my natural diet as a carnivore. I don't know if you could call that high protein. I don't eat any fruits or vegetables or any fake food. But yeah, okay, whatever. I don't know. I'm not, and I don't exercise. I don't exercise. I never run on treadmills. I never do cardio ever, ever.
0.5 grams per kilogram of body weight, kind of ideal or more. That's the assumption. Okay, it's not a blanket, non-context specific statement. I'm also assuming your diet is a good micronutrient sufficiency. You're eating plenty of vegetables and things, plenty of plants, plenty of fiber. Okay, because once those are filled, a lot of other stuff is a lot more what you were trying to do with everything from water weight, fullness, all these different things, how you're trying to control different types of inflammation in the body. Okay, maybe looking for a certain look.
How you trying to control inflammation in your body? Yeah, by stop lifting weights, you won't be inflamed, and eating artificial diet called vegetables that are toxic, causing your cells to inflame. Yeah, that inflammation will go away, Blaha. But you're promoting inflammation, so it's inflammaging you.
You're trying to drop water or fill muscles out more, so different things.
Wow, look how inflammaged he is already. A lot of gray hair there. Old man. 85-year-old man.
Right? Maybe how your GI tract feels. This is where the differences between these things come into play. And those are very, very individual to your biology, to your current situation with health situations, your physiology, your specific goals at the moment. They're not set in stone. But I do need to put that caveat in up front. This is context dependent. This is not a blanket statement. Oh, carbs and fat are completely interchangeable. It's not what we're saying. Saying their personal preference. But we come back over to assuming all the fiber and vitamins and minerals are present. We're assuming plenty of protein. Okay. If those needs are met, the other stuff actually is less important. Okay, because those are, for our purposes, for general health, recovery, body composition, those are the big ones. Those are the big ones, and those are the ones that are not debated. Like when you get to the point where people start debating that, you're dealing with an absolute fraud and a quack. Well, we don't need fiber in our diet, we don't need fiber, we don't need this, we don't need that. Oh, you can maximize muscle on very small amounts of plant source protein. Yeah, that doesn't work either. Okay, so drop the extreme diets. Now let's come over and let's talk about the others. It's a lot of personal preference. Because when we look at it, we know that, yeah, in theory, carbohydrates may cause more muscle growth. It's a nice hypothesis. I like the hypothesis.
How do carbohydrates create more muscle growth if protein is what builds muscles? Think about that. He says, "Oh yeah, we know that carbohydrates create more muscle growth." No, it doesn't. It can create artificial muscle growth, which you think is muscle growth, by blowing up your muscles with glycogen, but that isn't muscle growth. That's fake. That's fake. That isn't real muscle based on protein. See what I mean? This is all the stuff people are doing that is so upside down. That's the problem with this fitness industry. It's crap. It's not based on regenerating muscles. It's not based on anything. People don't even know what bodybuilding is. It's not based on periodic lifting or being an endurance athlete. It's based on regenerating muscles, and it's based on you coming in periodically, very periodically, to lift, to regenerate muscle and get stronger. That's it. Get bigger, you get stronger. Not I get stronger and I get bigger. You get bigger, you get stronger automatically. Because when you got bigger the first time you came to the gym, you got stronger right away.
You deal with insulin, insulin response, insulin itself being anabolic to muscle tissue. It's a good thing.
But I
know we train really hard.
But I know a lot of people. They call this new thing. It's called powerlifting, where they get stronger and they never get bigger. They get stronger by lifting weights. They get more neural drive. They got better at lifting heavy weights, neural drive, but they never got bigger. That's why they're always like, I got stronger, but I didn't get it bigger, because you have to get bigger to get stronger. It's really the opposite. I'll explain this. So why can gorillas lift, deadlift so much, squat, bench, whatever, so much weight? They're so strong. They can pound through walls and whatever, because they have more muscle fibers. Thus equates more testosterone. The more muscle you carry, the more testosterone will increase as well with that. Goes with it. Yeah. So if you build more muscle, you'll be a lot stronger. It'll be permanent. That strength for that lift will be permanent. You don't have to keep practicing at it anymore. But if you just move for neural drive, get good at lifting heavy weights, well, you have to practice at it forever and ever. And I'm not saying that you have to stop lifting. That it's going to be forever and ever. You still have to regenerate muscle every so often. Get it? Every so often, you should come back to regenerate. Depends on how many repair and remodeling you went through, how many repair and remodeling phases you went through, or adaptations. I can't really say. I don't know what you're doing there. Okay, if you do a lot of remodeling, you're going to get a lot of new muscle fibers. That's for sure. But as far as the mass part of it, that definitely you should be coming in every so often. Otherwise, the mass part you may lose. You'll still have some good size on you from the repair and the remodeling. But if you don't have these nuclei, when they start to shrink a bit, well, you got to kind of lose the mass. You see what I mean? So you'll lose some size, definitely, and some strength that goes with that mass.
Higher insulin sensitivity, so we have a smaller insulin response. So those carbs come in handy. In theory, training fuel. I mean, it all sounds good on paper. Practice, it doesn't really pan out. It turns out our training needs for carbohydrate are relatively low. They're there. But realistically, I mean, you know how hard you have to train to burn 30 grams of carbs? It's a lot. Average person going to the gym probably doesn't burn through that many carbohydrates. Now, before people say, well, you burn a lot of calories, so the heart rate up in the heavy, but how much of that is between sets? Okay? A lot of that can be fat also. It doesn't have to be carbohydrate being burned. So that doesn't really work. It's really only the moving the weight and the muscular contractions of the anaerobic type activity that's burning through that. And a lot of that is ATP on the heavier work, which can also be replenished off of other stuff. It doesn't have to come purely from dietary carbohydrate. So they keep that in mind for these factors. That's been overrated. We also come over to, well, what sort of fats you consume. We talk about insulin response, but if we're eating a lot of protein and still eating trace amounts of carbs, even on fairly low carbs and higher fat, are you eating fats that are associated with improved insulin sensitivity? Are you eating a bunch of saturated fat, tons of it, or are you eating a lot of omega-3, a lot of omega-6? Okay? you have a lot of those healthy fats. And in other words, are we eating walnuts and almonds and fatty fish, or are you eating bacon? Okay, there's a big difference here. Okay, insulin sensitivity. So we come over to what are we trying to do? A lot of times we can get a larger insulin response from more carbohydrate. We get more glycogen. You probably do more total volumes. It definitely matters when we start talking about extreme amounts of cardio, extreme training volumes. Yeah, carbohydrates come in handy real quick.
Yeah, carbohydrates can come in handy if you're slaving yourself, and definitely you're an endurance athlete lifting for no reason, like Blaha. I don't know what he's doing. He thinks, well, I'm gonna just, like I said, everybody gives up in the end, and they all like, oh, well, I guess gonna move for the aesthetic look. I can't build any muscle, so I'll move for the aesthetic look. I'll try to lose as much body fat as I can so I can look muscular. But most of the time he's wearing a shirt in the street, whatever he's walking around. Nobody really sees it, unless of course you go to a beach or something. I don't know, or you're walking around naked in the street. I mean, if that's what you want to do, you want to impress people by looking really muscular, you are going to suffer by having a very low body fat, that's for sure. Just for looking good, you're going to suffer a lot for that, believe me. Just to impress people, just because they can look at you and say, oh, he's muscular. You're definitely going to suffer. I've been there before, lowering the body fat and stuff. I don't know, maybe do it again. Who knows? But if I start suffering, yeah, I abandon it. If it makes me suffer, I abandon it. You should too.
You have to understand that. We could also discuss the inside. How about we discuss looking full and thick? If you want to look at
Full and thick, yeah, I want to look full and thick, yeah, definitely. I would say this: if you're moving for adaptations in muscular, like more muscle, then definitely you should lower the body fat first. You should try to lower your body fat to a certain degree, and then start moving to get bigger. But don't do too much. I'd be very careful. I'd be very careful with carbohydrates. If you had to eat a carbohydrate, the best is a complex carbohydrate, which would be potato, as opposed to rice. Don't eat any rice because rice has arsenic in it. You don't want to be lifting weights, trying to create new cells, and eating arsenic. That's the worst thing you could do. Yeah.
as big and stacked as possible, taking those carbs up help. Now they may come at the expense of some water around the waist, some water in the gut. Okay? But if you want to look thick, man, carbon up can go a real long way to doing that.
Yeah, it could, because you're going to create these fake muscles by carbing up, yes.
Okay, we go to the other extreme. When carbs are lower and we're eating all those healthy fats, what do we get? Particularly healthy fats that lower inflammation. All that inflammation goes down.
Healthy fats? What are healthy fats, Blaha? They aren't plants. Animal fat's healthy, yes. Just tell the truth, Blaha. Just say it the way it is.
That water in the gut goes down. Smaller, tighter waistline. Tighter look overall. Okay? Can take down certain types of inflammation. Right? If it's healthy fats.
Oh, yeah, okay. Look at that tiny chest he has, tiny arms.
A lot of inflammatory markers can go down. If it improves insulin sensitivity, we still get those other benefits because it's then offset by the amount. We get plenty of it from high protein. Right? If your insulin sensitivity is crazy high because you eat a lot of healthy fats and a lot of fiber and only very modest amounts of carbohydrate, all that protein is going to have a pronounced insulinogenic effect. So these are really what you're looking at. What are you trying to do? Are we trying to push the bleeding edge of performance, the bleeding edge of muscle fullness, and looking as thick as possible at any given moment? I mean, erring on the side of carbohydrate makes sense. Are we trying to look tighter?
Does it make sense? Yeah. Are you trying to look tighter? Okay, look, if you're moving for this so-called aesthetic look, then you're not going to be building any muscle, okay? It's kind of obvious. So, you could come in every day to the gym and lift weights, okay, to burn body fat. And what do? Eat your natural diet as a carnivore. Meat, that's it, meat and water, and go in and lift, okay? And in 30 days, you'll look, this guy's been spending months doing this. You can do this in 30 days, okay? There you go. I don't know. It depends on what level you're at in body fat. If it's a modest level, like Let's say you're 15% or 20, whatever. I guarantee in 30 days, you'll probably be down all the way down to 9% or something, or 8. Can even get down to 8.
We try to control inflammation the most. Try to really, truly maximize.
You can't. Is he? He thinks he can control something. He's not God. You don't control inflammation. You prevent inflammation. You do inflammation. You don't control it, Blaha. You don't have any magic powers.
Insulin sensitivity, eating healthy fats is a primary calorie
Insulin sensitivity, healthy fats. Yeah, edible fats. Don't eat any carbohydrates. They make you insulin resistant.
source. Start drifting in that direction starts to make more sense. And then it comes down to individual food tolerances.
He finally bought some meat there in his food basket. I always knew that he's eating meat. He's a liar. Well, he's like plant foods. Then he shows you a basket with meat. That last video, he's got some steaks in there, whatever. I don't even know for how many days is that for exactly. Is that your food stamps? You spend all your food stamp money for the entire week? Is that your food for the entire week? Because I eat that like one day, dude. All those steaks and meat and everything. I eat that in one day.
All right, guys, but that's really all I have to say on that today. I hope it's been informative, and I'll talk to you guys and gals next time.
It was very uninformative as usual. High carbs versus high healthy fat. Why people would pick? I don't know. Why pick one over the other? Oh man, I don't know. Because high healthy fat, which is animal fat, is the best for you than high carbs. Okay, that's why. I'll see you in the next one. He even just said high fat, which is animal fat. This is crazy. See you later, man.